right, so you have made your prediction and you have found out how many drops of water fit on your penny. What are you wondering as you sit there working by yourself, alone, independently? What are you wondering? Risra?
What size of drops does it depend on?
All right. And what are you trying to do?
We're trying to fill the coin, but then if you have big drops, it might be more.
All right. So as you're working all by yourself, you haven't looked up. You're wondering, Arissa's wondering about her drop size. What are you wondering? Kanap?
Does the weight of the coin matter?
Does the weight of the coin matter? I don't know. Avan?
Why does the water act in different ways?
Why does the water act in different ways? So you're seeing it act in different ways?
Yes.
What are you seeing that's different?
One time when I put it on the penny, it flows to fill every gap, but the next time it just grouped together.
So sometimes his water flowed to fill all the gaps, and other times it grouped together. Interesting. You're working all by yourself at your own lab station. What are you wondering? Kiva?
Kind of wondering that wouldn't everyone's be different, because like my coin has like at the top it has like the what's it called, the maple leaf, the shoot goes poking out, and like other people they have like the face of someone.
Excellent. So you're a scientist working in your own lab. What are you wondering? Adelaide.
Like she was saying, different pennies, but also like which if the sides or like if you can fit more on one side than the
Beautiful. So you're wondering what the other scientists are getting for their results. What would you like us to do right now? Share. In a speaking voice, when I say 3, call out the number of drops that you got on your penny. 1, 2, 3.
3, 11, and 6.
Wow. What did you hear? Don't repeat. We already said it one time. What did you hear? You heard 16. What did you hear?
3. I heard like numbers that are less than mine.
So, Mia, sorry, you heard numbers smaller than her number? Well, anyone, what was the biggest number that you heard? I know which one I heard.
42.
Oh, I heard 30. So 42. What was the smallest number that you heard?
3. I got 3 5s and they were all different.
Right? So there's an observation. You weren't sure what number to yell out because you got different numbers for your 3 trials. Did anyone have consistency amongst their trials?
I got kind of, because for 2 of my tries I got 15, and then for 1 I got 14.
Nice. You guys hear that? 15, 15, and 14 Navin had. Yep.
I got a 13 overall.
All 3 of your trials were the same number. 13 drops for each one. Grace.
Between trial 1 and trial 3, I had 2 drops apart, so one was 19 and one was 21.
All right,
But
so
the
quite
middle
consistent.
one kind of got 28 instead of.
Yep. So different ranges, or different kinds of precision people had. Some people were very much the same as each other, and some as themselves rather, and some of their trials were quite vastly different. Joe.
So I have 2 set of results, which is one is how many drops I can put on the coin before it just fills out. So it's actually going up vertically also. But then I also added another column, which is for how many drops to just surround the coin, like to go around the coin.
Ah,
So that's
okay.
what Myron was thinking. So I was like, oh yeah.
All right, so
Then
there
I
was
had 2
some.
columns.
So communication is helpful because ideas were shared and then adopted by other scientists. So Nativa and Adelaide were saying, okay, but they were wondering, like, I have the queen's head up or I have the maple leaf up. Will that make it different? So that's a good wondering as well. Yuna.
On each attempt, I just did this random thing where on my actual attempt, I just do like my own speed, but then like on my second go, I just do it really short. Like, And then I recorded both of the results.
And were they very different?
Like they're about 6 to 8 different.
So we are, I'll take your hand up in a second, Arissa. There's 2 parts to this learning right now. One is we're still trying to answer the question, do you know enough about water to understand what we saw in the clong and what's happening to that water? And then you're listening to each other. Ari started it when he said, but we don't know about the, what was his concern when we first said, let's count how many drops fit on the penny? He said, what, Ivan?
what about the size of the drops?
Right. So which criterion are you good at if you understood Ari's question? He said, yeah, but you guys, it's not going to be a fair test because we don't know what the size of drops are going to be. B for baby. Yeah, criterion B for baby is where you design a fair test. And to understand that, we've got all these words here to remind us of how you organize a fair test and how you report it as well. All right, so now we're going to get Arissa's point because you had your hand up earlier.
So I had a question.
Uh-huh.
When I played outside, some of the water, it was like some was thick and some was thin.
Ooh.
Like when I put each side.
And Yvonne referred to different behavior of the water as well. So we're back to the beginning of our cycle. You observed something about the water. Arissa was describing it as thickness and thinness. Yvonne's describing it as spreading out and clumping together. And that's leading you to wonder some stuff. And of course, what do we do after we wonder? Good. So that's our next step. Prachi?
I just have something else. It also matters what angle it is.
Ooh.
On your book, if it's like this side, then it'll actually go like faster. It'll come
Certainly.
out, like, faster. So if it's straight, then it stays for longer.
So would you be able to write up a method for kids in year 3, say, to follow? And you think, am I wrong about the year 3? Are they too old for this, too young for this? Too young?
Yeah.
Are they?
They would just play with it and say like, oh, I can do this.
But you guys just played with it. So, all right, I like that vocabulary. When you were first standing around the classroom, let's talk about how I presented the lesson today. When you were first standing around at the sinks, I did ask, how do you feel? And we got words like uncomfortable, confused. How did you feel when you were doing this experiment sitting at your table just now? Easy?
A bit more, yeah.
I felt confident.
More comfortable? Because why?
Because
We knew what we were doing.
Our goal.
Okay. We used about 20 minutes of you walking around playing at the sinks. Should we have used that time, or should I have just said, hey, 70, thanks for coming today. Here's a penny. Please see how many drops of water can fit on it. Or should we have had that 20 minutes of you, playing, literally, just wondering, what am I supposed to do with this beaker of water and this plastic pen thing? Yep.
If you let us do the playing, we would kind of discover it, and so that would encourage us to try and find out more about the water and how it works, and trying to understand the problem.
Thank you. So you felt encouraged through the playing, Arissa?
Like cake and prom, they found out, so it was like we can get new ideas from that, and we can build our ideas on it by finding out.
All right. Kick and Prom, how do you feel the fact that the entire class has just copied you? Is it a compliment? Is it or is it like, hey, do your own stuff, man?
We're just okay. We don't really feel much. We're now.
Can you tell us, do you guys have any questions for Kick and Prom?
How did you figure it out?
How did you come up with that?
We just play.
All right. Nativa, did I miss your hand? What were you going to say?
I was saying that at first when you let us play, we were all wondering, so what should we do and everything. So we all went out and we kind of tried different stuff. And when someone found something, we're like, oh cool, how do you do that?
Okay.
And so we played around. It wasn't just completely from scratch.
Oh.
So we played around. So we had like a few instructions, fill it up with water.
Okay. And Yvonne added too, we're in a box because I only gave you that equipment, so it wasn't the sky's the limit. Listen, now it's a very personal question. When you were standing at the sink, you'd filled up the beaker with water. How many people, it was their instinct to look left and right and see if you can catch any ideas from the guy? Or how many people are like, don't care, I just want to sit there and do my own thing. So stay there, just do a little survey. So you hand up people, your instinct was to just look left and right to get a jump on what the guy might be doing. And that's perfect. Everyone learns and thinks differently, and that's what we're curious to find out. So for you hand up people, you were happy or sad when I directed the task?
I wasn't happy or sad.
Okay.
It was just
Which one?
All right. All right, thanks, guys. Let me see how to turn this off.